Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to my channel. I'm a fabric lover and upcycler. I sew clothes from scratch and I also upcycle old garments and garments that are languishing in the back of my wardrobe into new and exciting makes. If you love exciting upcycling projects, stay tuned. So during the last week, I've actually been going through my upcycling bin and this lovely sheet. It's a flat sheet. It's 100% cotton. I bought it in the thrift shop, but I'm going to upcycle it into a dress. My friend has been staying with me recently and she bought a beautiful dress in a local boutique, and I want to sort of make a little bit of a copy of the dress that she bought. It's essentially just like a vest style top which goes down into a loose-ish bodice and then into a sort of A-line skirt that actually balloons into a tulip shape. I don't have a pattern for this one, so I'm actually going to be tweaking an existing pattern that I have. Those of you that follow me on Instagram may remember I made a dress, I think it was last year, that was in a coating fabric in a really bright tartan. There's a little picture of it there. It's essentially a pinafore dress, but it has the similar lines and it has the pockets that are actually included in the design of how I've located the shaping and the darts. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. So the top is going to be quite plain, similar to this, but I'm going to do, so that one had a V-neck. I'm actually going to do a round neck on this neckline with a hidden zip down the back. And then I'm going to incorporate the pockets into the actual darts. So there's no shaping of darts in the actual body. It all goes into where the pocket area is. But I'm going to make the pockets a little bit loose on the outside so that it's fitted against the body, but then the pockets are a little bit loose to create the tulip shape of the skirt. So I'm going to need to tweak this pattern a little bit. So pay attention. So these are my pattern pieces. This is the front. As you can see, it's all in one section, the whole bodice and dress. And then I'm going to just put all the shaping for the bust into this curved piece here, which goes down into a pocket. I'm going to make the pocket longer. And then I also have a pocket lining piece as well, which goes in there. So basically the pocket bag is separate to the skirt, but it doesn't interrupt the actual flow of the skirt once you've done it. So this is the shape that I had for my tartan one. What I want to do is actually slightly widen it into an A-line and then make it back into a tulip shape. What we're going to start with is actually cutting out the main body of the dress. So I've got a washable pen here, and I'm just going to mark on exactly where I want to cut it, because obviously I want to make it slightly different shape to this one. So I want this to come out, further, because I want that pocket to be slightly bulgy. I don't want it to be flat. And then we just widen that down to the bottom like that. I want this pocket to be a lot deeper, so we just need to cut that pocket more like that so it's deeper. We then need to do the same with this pocket. So now I'm going to cut it out. So So I want to change the neckline. So I've got this free pattern that I did for upcycling a shirt, which is the tie front top. I'm just going to use the neckline on this, if I can find the front. That's the back. So that's the back neckline. That's the front neckline. So I'm just going to copy the neckline off these pattern pieces because I like the neckline on this one. And I'm going to just mark a different neckline because this has got a V-neck on this one and I don't want a V-neck, I want a round neck. So I'm just going to change the neckline on it and just draw around this pattern piece to get the different shape neckline. I'm probably going to cut that in slightly on the armhole as well, but I won't do that at the moment because I want to just make sure before I do anything I do a fit check just to make sure that that's okay. I just realised actually I've cut that pocket wrong as well. This is going to be too long for the lining of this pocket because this one basically gets sewn to here. So I'm going to have to widen the pocket piece or cut a wider pocket piece than I have to take into account that I actually want to make that wider because that basically fits on the back of this piece and then the other one goes in behind it. This is like the facing to this one. So I need to cut this so that it's wider. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to work actually because I obviously want this wider but this one not wider. But just this one needs to be wider at the top. So I just need to widen the top of that and then it will sew down through. Oh, I nearly did that wrong then. So this one I've cut wrong. I need this wider to match the front. So I need to cut this pocket so that it's wider here, but then goes down into the bottom so that it fits into the bottom of this piece underneath. So underneath it's going to be sewn around there. And then that's going to be sewn in there and then that needs to meet there. So that needs to be wider to make that pocket stick out more. So I've cut that piece wrong. This is the thing when you don't follow a pattern properly. So as you can see, the back neckline is in slightly from the pattern piece I'm using here as well. So as you can see, I've just redrawn the back neckline from the other top as well. And the shoulders are in narrower, which is a nicer fit for me. I prefer that. I'm just going to measure the length of my piece as well because I think I might need to make it quite a bit longer. So I need to make it probably about 15 centimetres longer. Let's go down that far on the safe side. I just used the grain line there just to make sure that this was square at the bottom. So you can see where I made the error. It just wasn't wide enough to actually line up with the front. How I've widened that slightly on the hip to just make the pocket a little bit baggier. So that's everything cut out. I have the front, I have the pocket lining, I have the side front, and I have the back. I'm not going to cut facings because I'm probably going to use bias binding on them, but we'll see. I might do facings, so I'm just going to sew it together now. So I'm loving how this has worked out. The pockets are finished and I've just ironed the front. I've got lovely big slouchy pockets that stand away from the dress just to give it a little bit of volume around the sort of hip area as it's going out into the tulip shape. I think they're looking fabulous. So I'm just doing a little fit check now. It's all pinned together. There's nothing sewn on it at the moment apart from the pockets and the front seams. I think I might put some darts just in the small of the back just to nip that top in just a little bit more. I like how the pockets are hanging. They're just sticking out, which is exactly what I wanted. Just loose, sort of drapey, sort of quite boho looking pockets. The skirt is pretty tuliped, but I think I'm going to take the bottom in on the sides a little bit more. I'd looked at taking the front in, but it didn't look right. And I need to just, that seam is just going back slightly at the bottom, you can see. So I'm just going to move that seam slightly forward at the bottom. I think on both sides, yeah, because that one's going really backwards. Just at the bottom, you can see the bend in it. So I'm just going to move that seam slightly onto the front panel as well. The length is good when I put a hem on it, and I'm quite liking that. I think I might cut the shoulders away a little bit as well, just to cut that in just a little bit more like that, so that the shoulders are narrower. But other than that, I'm quite liking the shape of it. So I finished sewing the dress now. As you can see, I've done binding around the neck and I did self-binding around the sleeves, mainly because I didn't like the look of, you can sort of see that gingham binding that I've used there through the fabric. So that was a bit of a mistake, but we'll live with that, because I've changed it on the sleeves to make the sleeves a little less noticeable. If you move down the dress, I've got the lovely big baggy pockets, and then it goes down to the really lovely, I just zoom out a little bit, and at the bottom you've got the lovely shape coming in there at the bottom to create that sort of balloon shape. I'll try it on now so that you can see the finished dress, but I'm quite pleased with it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please click the like below if you did, and subscribe to my channel. If you love upcycling and creating spectacular new makes, please come back and watch my other videos, and I'll be upcycling and making lots of new things. I'll see you guys soon.